Printing bidder reports. To access the bidder report menu, you can go to the bidder window and click on the Print Preview button on the right panel. You can also access that same menu via the Reports menu and go into the Bidder section. The bidder reports are split up in three categories: data preparation, event material, and ticket sales. In the data preparation menu, you get your basic listing reports where you can print email list, guest memo list, guest names with address, guest names with table number, mailing labels, and table population report. The most popular or common report to print is the guest names with table number. Here you have several options as far as sorting. You can sort by bid ID, guest name, table number, or table name. A very useful report for registration is the guest name report, which will basically list all your bidders by their last name, and it'll give you their bid ID followed by their table number. So again, this report is very useful to have at registration so that volunteers can easily find the guests and find out where they're sitting. You can also print the same report order by table name or table number. This report, as you can see, the bidders are grouped by table, and you have space in the report itself to write down people who should be sitting there, so it'll give you spaces for the available seats on those tables. And this is a useful report to have a registration as well. So if you have a copy of this report and a copy of the report where it lists bidders by last name, volunteers can easily find out what table they're sitting at, go to that table, and find out who's sitting at that table. In the guest event materials menu, we have different kinds of labels. You have your live auction paddles or bid signs, you have name tags, table numbers, and table tents. To print live auction paddles or bid signs, you select the option, you click preview, and you select the bidders that you want to print for. The live auction signs will print 2 per page. So you simply cut them down the middle and put them in the packet. We also have the catalog labels, envelope labels, and folder labels. These are labels that you would usually affix either to the outside of the catalog or to an envelope if you're handing your guest a packet at check-in. And this is what they look like. You have the option here to skip a few labels, so if you have printed only a few labels on a page, you can actually instead of wasting that entire page, it'll give you the option to skip the ones that you've already printed and start from that point. Okay, so these are the labels, and you would simply affix this to the front of the packet or the catalog, and since it's got larger font, it will be easier for the volunteers to find the guest name. It also has the table number and table name if you choose to include it, and it has a barcode which will make it easier for the person scanning the credit card to scan it quickly instead of having to search for the bid labels and scan those instead. So all they have to do is scan this barcode in the outside of the packet and swipe the guest credit card. You can also print table tents. So you select the ones that you want to print, so only populated tables. Okay, so these are the table tents. And last we have the ticket sales report. So we got guests paid for, table seats, and payment records. To get a summary of all your ticket sales, you can go to guests paid for, and you can either select to print all the guests, either paid or unpaid, or you can include only paid guests, or a summary of the sales. So in this case we're going to do all. We're going to order a last name. We're not going to apply any filters. And this will give you a summary of all your ticket payments. Including a grand total at the end. So it basically lists each guest and who paid for them and how much was paid for their ticket, and it will also give you a breakdown of how many guests are paid and how many are still unpaid, and of course the total number of guests and the revenue from those ticket payments.